Hi everyone, this is Sifra Hassan from the Crescent Model School. I'm doing IPGCE from Strathclyde University of Scotland. I am teaching science to grade 4 and grade 5 students. I love my job and I'm passionate about learning innovative things. I feel really privileged to be a student of IPGCE, and I really thanks to Amanda and Lian to give me a chance to tell about my teaching practice. I choose teaching as a profession to make a difference in my students' learning journey. Today, I am going to deliver my reflective monologue of my own teaching practice. For module 2, I have chosen a topic for creating that how to create a positive classroom environment. And in this, I will discuss on the behavior management, and my topic is that a disruptive classroom will elevate teachers' hassle and burnout rate. In 2015, Torrent and Sekinar they give an idea that a classroom climate can be divided in three dimensions. Firstly, teacher-student relationship. Number two, the peer relationship, and number three, the most importantly, this is actually the education atmosphere. I want to make my classroom a good place to learn, where a student want acceptance, safety, and they are highly respected. They desire for the positive praise and valued. These are the basic rights of the children. If I know the rights of the children, then I know the needs of my students. Then I might overcome the barriers to fulfill the needs of my students. I want to nurture every child of my class and promote inclusive education and create a productive environment with lots of opportunities to grow. I want every student involvement in my class, and for this, I have to make interactive activities to engage my students. This is what that's how I try to make the positive classroom environment. Now, children run through activities, through everyday experiences. If I'm talking about my teaching style, then I have two things in my teaching practice. Number one is the teaching strategy, the love of my subject. And um, for this, I'm following four C's, that is, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. But I'm not using four C's in my teaching strategy. Yes, I'm using five C's. Yes. And the fifth C is choose. Choice. I want that my student choice by themselves. Okay, now I have told you that my teaching strategies are two. Number one is the teaching strategy, the love of my subject, and number two is the relationship with my kids, the relationship with my students. So I am not following five C's, I'm actually following six C's. Yes, and the sixth C is clear. And I think that care is the very important element in teacher student relationship. And if I talk about myself, then I don't remember that what my teacher taught in my childhood, but I remember that how do they care about me, how they help me, so it is actually very important element, that the 6C. So I usually I have the 6C in my teaching practice. We have a specified routine. Students know their boundaries and they know their expectation in my classroom. I have very high expectation in my classroom, and they are very clear. I strongly emphasize praise in my class, as I am dealing with 9 to 10 years old, so they need encouragement to complete their work. Some need less encouragement and some need more encouragement. As I'm teaching science to my students, so when I formulate lesson plan, then I keep in mind all type of learner and focus on hands-on activities. as students learn more by hands-on activities. Now, when we perform some activity, then I focus on collaborative work. For group construction, I use rainbow card method, and sometimes I use another method. My students want their work should be purposeful and challenging. So they perform the collective effort in the group, and they perform experiments, and they discuss the concepts in the group, and they do some discussion on the given puzzle. And so I have found out that there are three important skills while doing work in collaboration or of teamwork. And it includes the trust, tolerance, and self awareness. In Classroom Management book by a Chinese author, I have read it. It was by Wai Sheng Li, and he suggested the teacher should formulate the plans to manage the behavior of the students. That either I have to ignore, either I have to punish, or either I have to counsel. So I want that every child feel my presence, and for this I'm doing work. Creating a positive classroom environment is an important aspect of effective teaching. By creating it, to create a positive classroom environment, teachers can address problematic classroom behaviors by developing the appropriate relationships with the students, and it helps them feel more comfortable in their academic settings. Now, if I'm talking about my challenges, then effective classroom management does not happen automatically. Even if the students' attitude, their behavior, and the teacher's strategies, they are in the place, then the most important influence in the classroom environment is that how does the teacher manages the class. And if the classroom is not properly managed, then it will elevate your stress level. Yes, it elevate the stress level of the teacher, and it will not you will not feel calm. And now I believe that instructions are the very important component. The goal of creating a positive classroom environment is actually is to self-discipline my students, and I wish to teach effectively and give meaningful learning to my students. And for this I usually follow three strategies, that is friendly, fair, and firm. So being firm is really challenging. Being It is not easy, because when I enter the class, then students rush towards me. They are telling me about their stories, and they are having so much to share about, so many things to share about, which is actually, I think that it is gracious that students are sharing and discussing their feelings with me. I usually take feedback in the warm-up sessions, and I build positive relationship with my students through communication. And I usually promote the class discussions and peer interactions, and it's usually is to stay connected with the students. But as I'm saying that I am not very firm. Sometimes I get frustrated. Actually, I'm not get frustrated, but actually, it is sometimes it is very difficult to attain the goals, because students are very friendly. I'm very friendly with them, so it is also sometimes very challenging to get from. So I don't like interruption in the class. So these interruptions are actually so much challenging for me. And during demonstration, I don't like any disruption in the class, and I want to deliver my knowledge, and I expect that everyone should listen it. And if it is not happening, that I really feel bad. And you know what, that it is actually very important, but it is sometimes very it is very difficult, because I'm, as I told you, that I'm dealing with 9 to 10 years old, so they are so small. But I want to train themselves, and I feel that when I raise my voice, then it is I was feeling that before doing the PG cert, that I was feeling that if I'm raising the voice, and the student will listen to me, and they will know that how to sit in the class, and they will know that how to be disciplined in the class. So you know what, yelling is a very poor classroom management technique, and which I used to do before. And effect it and when I study about it, that that I know about that it affects the mental health, and you know so after doing PG search, and I get to know that instead of raising your voice, I should train them. So I show them a card. In this card, there are some rules, and if we have some rules. I have written the rules in my class, and whenever in my class some students, they forget, and they raise their tones, and they raise their voices, and they're out of control. And especially it happens in the group work. Usually it is not happening. Students listen and engage in their activities, but when we are doing the group work, they forget. They get very excited, and they are start talking with each other in a louder tone, so which is actually quite disturbing, especially if I'm feeling when another teacher come over there, so it is quite mess in the class. So then I start training my students. I start telling them that how to behave in the class, how to be more disciplined in the class. And I tell them that what are the rules, and I have cleared them the rules, and told them that what are my expectations. And they've also a study by Dr. Lara Markham, and she revealed that if you're raising the voice, then it will lead to the self-esteem and self-worth among the students, and it produced results that are actually similar to the physical punishment. And then I realized that I don't want to, I should not. Raise my tone, and I have to train my kids, and then I start working on it. And I'm so happy that the students are listening, and it has a very a magical I'm getting the feedback from the students, and a very magical result, that if I'm telling my students that I'm expecting that you all are disciplined in the class, and then you know what, that students are they actually self-regulate themselves. And in the same forward, what is happening, that I'm also self-regulating myself. I am lowering my tone, and telling my kids. So this is I want to inculcate the habit of positive behavior in my students. And it is an ongoing process, and it is going on, but I really enjoy it because my students are giving me very positive response, and this controlling and this management, they are more self-disciplined. And so I guess I want to train my students to set their tones while talking. And that instead of using the words louder tone, I should say them that you have to come on the low tone, you have to come on the shared tone, you have to come on the partner voice. So the students are working on those things. So this is actually quite interesting, and I have added so many strategies which I have learned in the PG cert in my class, so that students are behaving a they are giving more productive response. And the last time they have given me a good result, because I think that if I'm giving them a positive classroom environment, then they will learn more. So thank you.